Support for the show, FYF Sports, is brought to you by Manscaped, who's the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped offers precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped is trusted by over 2 million men worldwide. Join the movement for all of your below-the-waist grooming needs. Get 20% off and free shipping with coupon code FYFCREW at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code FYFCREW. Your balls will thank you.
All I hear is yap, 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 yap. Ain't talking about nothing, right? Watch this. We gon' bring that pressure.
Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. This a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? Woo, fuck your feelings, we all know who the real is. I be getting to it, ain't wasting no time. Walking straight in, we ain't waiting in line. Fuck your feelings, you don't care about mine. You a YouTube gangster, don't be yelling out slime. Or you talking LB, talking Ticket TV. Ain't nobody watching them, all the viewers be sleep. 5 years in, all your subs is your friends. Ticket TV, watch your cars again. Just a little FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next? They been hating at first, now they calling us the best. Hit up YouTube, tell them cut the check. This a FYI, FYF, 20K sub 6 months, what's next?
It's FYF Sports Menace Lamont. We back with another podcast video, and today, man, this NCAA tournament has been crazier than ever. The NCAA tournament has been crazier than ever. You know, I love it. Definitely, my bracket is busted. My bracket is completely busted. I mean, starting from day one, right out the gate. You know, we had a 2-seed fall. So we had Iona smack Ohio State. I saw UCLA, a team that, you know, after seeing UCLA play earlier this year, I didn't think they would be able to cruise the way they have been in cruise control. I thought North Carolina would wake up and finally be the North Carolina that we all believed they could be, and they just came out and got completely shellacked. My team, Purdue University, just came out completely unprepared against North Texas. I mean, just all across the board. When we look at Ohio State, we saw Tennessee lose to Oregon State. We saw San Diego State drop to Syracuse. I mean, all across the board, everybody's brackets are just completely demolished. But you know, there were a few perfect brackets going into last night. There were a few perfect brackets going into last night, and then that all got eliminated after this game. This game right here, if you didn't watch this game, Abilene Christian versus Texas, you missed out on one of the best defensive performances that I've ever seen by a basketball team in my life. This was a clinic. This was a clinic on how to play. See, when I talk about the Brooklyn Nets and what I expect from them defensively, you know, when we talk about how your defense alone can overcome any mountain of great offense that can be seen. Defense alone, and I'm going to break down the stats. I'm going to show you why just defense alone can carry you to a championship. Now, I'm not saying that this Abilene Christian team can get to the Final Four or even win the championship. But on any given night, especially in a setting where it's considered like a playoff format, whether it's a 7-game series, whether it's a one-and-done setting, if you come out and you play high-level defense, you're going to have a chance to win the game. Yeah, offense is fun. Offense looks great, you know, to the eye. But if you're looking to win games, if you're looking to win high-level games, you got to come out and defend at an extremely high level. And we're gonna go to the film study on this game right here. I definitely have to break down the film study on this because I've shown you guys footage. I've shown you guys clips of the Brooklyn Nets and their poor defense. See, now I get the opportunity to kind of flip the script, and I can show you guys clips of how great defense is supposed to look, how great team defense is supposed to look, how great individual commitment to defense is supposed to translate into team defense. I can break all of those things down just by showing you the highlights to Abilene Christian's upset win over the Texas Longhorns. And I really like the Texas Longhorns. I like Shaka Smart's program. I actually follow Shaka Smart. I watch a lot of his videos. He preaches a lot of defense as well. But coming into this game, his team lost that philosophy. So we'll get to the stats after this. But this game right here was easily, for me, the best game of the tournament from start to finish. Salute to everybody from Abilene Christian. But these, at the end of the day, when the results came, I know the Texas fans were upset with how the game ended. But at the end of the day, when you play defense the way they do, you're always going to give yourself a chance to win. And generally, the team that plays harder generally gets the calls, especially in crunch time. And that's what happened in this game. Let's go ahead and get to the drawing board so we can break down the film on Abilene Christian's upset win over the Texas Longhorns.
Saturday night, one of the latest tips here today.
And Texas started this game off. Playing great. The execution was flawless early. And it looked as if Texas was going to cruise to an early victory. I thought it was jitters. I didn't know what this Abilene Christian team had early. All right. But this was a great post move right here over Sims. And I wish I wish Texas would have. I wish they would have took advantage of transition opportunities, but this is what great defense takes away. It's one of the rare made shots by Abilene Christian. And this Texas team, that's one thing they can do. They can shoot the ball.
But they're scrappy, that's for sure. Jab step for Pleasant, and he hits.
Great post mid-range jumper.
Simmons took his eye off of that pass, and Miller somehow retains it.
Great hustle play to stay in alive. And I'm going to pause it right there. Because from this point forward, once Abilene Christian, they started off slow. And look, we're 12 minutes into the game. That's 8 minutes gone. All right. So the one thing that we know is in 8 minutes they held this Texas team to 10 points. So now they're defending. They're defending pretty well at this particular time. But the one thing that they know is when you allow a team that you're much better than to continue to stay with you, what you tend to do is you tend to play down to your level of competition. So mistakes are compounded. The other team gets scrappier and things just get much harder. From this point forward, Abilene Christian just turn this game into a complete dogfight. I want you guys to check out how they completely, at least as far as defensively, dominated this game throughout the way. Great up and under. Great up and under. College coaches teach that all the time. The up and under is an underrated move. The shot. Abilene Christian up 3. Andrew Jones, man, I feel bad for the redshirt junior. And he played tough today. Great shot from the mid-range.
Not a lot of dribbling in the half court for the Wildcats.
They were picking up full court at this time. And we're going to go back here, and again, this is something that I noticed too. Because the one thing that Abilene Christian persistently did was, and you'll see it on this play, is they had a commitment to closing out on shooters. And this was a great closeout. Even though he made the shot, they didn't allow Texas making shots to influence their effort level on defense. Texas made shots early on But what Abilene Christian did was they continued to give extremely high effort, closing out with high hands, not running through the closeouts, not fouling shooters. I mean, you watch this closeout, all right, way to run out at the shooter, contest the shot without fouling. You see the big man, the 7-footer, is jumping through the side of him, no contact, and he made a tough shot. He made a tough shot. But it was the persistent effort, time and time again, throughout the game. All right, Texas slips up right there. Left the big man wide open for the layup. Look at the closeout. Look at the closeout. Look at the closeout. See? That was just great offense. See? And see, this is what the funny thing is. The casual fan will act like that's great offense. That was actually better defense. And I actually, when I was actually watching the game, I said, that's great defense. I said, if that continues on, Abilene Christian can win this game. I literally said that at this point in the game. I want you to go to, it was great ball movement. It was great, definitely great ball movement by Texas on this play. But, Abilene Christian on this one play did everything that coaches preach in practice defensively. I want to break this down. All right, so we got the trap coming. So we got the trap coming. So what they've done now is they've overloaded ball side. They said we're going to defend the basketball as a team. I've talked about that in the past when I've talked about the Nets and their poor defense. All right, so now the best way to stop an easy post entry pass is to pressure the ball. So now they're sticking to their game plan, pressuring the ball. All right. Now, but once you pressure the ball to this degree, you have to be what? You have to be hoping that your teammates, all right, you can communicate effectively with your teammates to help you because you know the skip pass is coming. All right, what happens? The skip pass comes. All right, what happens? Watch how they communicate. So we got help side defender right here. You see on the flight of the ball, he's already moving to close out here. He closes out, high hands, he stops short. He doesn't run through the closeout. Great defensive position. And this was even better effort right here. The second pass, here's the second effort by the center. And this is one thing that I saw. When I saw how the center closed out, this is how I know this coach preaches and teaches great defensive habits. Watch the closeout. And he stops short, high hands, doesn't foul the shooter. Texas makes the shot. Texas makes the shot. That's fine. But it was great defense. And it kept them in the game. Plays like that kept them in the game. Look at the defense. Look at the defense. Hold on. Let me pull this out. Let me go back right there. There were certain times in this game where it felt like Abilene Christian had 7 players on the court. The way they were scrambling, getting into passing lanes, because of their commitment to overload ball side and pressure the ball, the pressure stops the skip pass. So the only thing that can happen is the next pass. And they were flying into that passing lane to take away the next pass. And they did this multiple times. I mean, look at this effort right here. So we got Texas. So Texas got the skip pass. What are they doing? They're sending 2 defenders at the ball, right? What did 2 defenders at the ball stop him from doing? It stops him from giving the easy post entry. Now, you had a big man fighting. He's going to be denying the post. All right, so you got the big man denying the post. And the only thing that this guard can do now is he can go to the next pass. All right, he can't skip it because they've made a commitment to pressuring the ball. Now, what is this guard doing right here? He's flying. This is called a commitment to team defense. This is called not playing selfishly. Now, this guard right here, now he could have lazily went over here and just played defense. Watch how he hustles. Even if he doesn't get this steal, right? He's trusting his teammates behind him, right, to help him out. Just look at the effort. Gets into the passing lane. Because of these 2 defenders in the corner, they forced the next pass. He got a hand on the ball. And just by simply getting a hand on his ball, now they're out in transition. This is a team that's struggling to shoot and score the ball all day. But they get into transition and they score easy layups because of their defense. Look at the defense. Great take. I like that.
And there is his first 2 of the game.
Texas has some players, man. Texas has some great athletes. They got great length.
5 now to shoot. Daniels puts it up. That touched every part of the rim and popped out. On the push, Ramey.
Great. The transition was where it should have been for this Texas team.
For Kai Jones.
He almost makes the shot. They go into halftime down 5.
Toe with the Longhorns.
And this is another thing. And I've had this same issue with some of the teams I've coached. I don't know if you're a coach out there. I know some of my subscribers, you guys coach. You know, coaches out there understand, especially if you know you have the far superior team. When you start allowing these teams, these lower seeded teams that you know, player for player wise, you just completely outman and outmatch. When you allow them to stay in the game, the only thing that happens as the game goes on is that team gets scrappier and they get more confidence. That's the only thing that can happen. And the only thing that happens with your team is as the game moves along, is more pressure on your team, and they also begin to doubt themselves more. There were a lot of times in this game, and I'm going to point it out later, where I saw Texas doubting themselves. Shots that they would normally take, let's say if they were up 15-20, they stopped taking them when they saw that this Abilene Christian team was making the game close, making the game tight. Now every bucket meant a lot more. All right, and they were second guessing a lot of the things that they normally do best. And that's not something that's really indicative of a Shaka Smart-led team. Let's go ahead and get back to the highlights.
Abilene Christian played Texas Tech and Arkansas.
And Texas actually started the second half off great.
Is a huge contributor in the first
This is when I thought Texas would take off right here, and they didn't.
half. Only played half the time in the first half. You heard Lawrence
Oh,
say
great Euro.
2 fouls, and there is a
This is when I thought Texas was going to take off.
Jones.
Up 11.
Talk about acceleration to the rim. And Daniels for 3. He's been well off the mark. And Mason with the
And Abilene Christian shot the ball poorly today, from the three-point line and from the field.
with the jump stop, draws the foul, gets it to drop for the
They just played harder. They were the tougher team today. Look at the runouts. Look at the runouts.
Jones and no look.
Oh, that was a great pass right there.
Well played.
Commitment to the double team. Great defense. Big man blows the layup, but they follow it up.
And the follow.
Now, and here's something else that I want to talk about too, because at the NBA level, we really don't see these such hard hedges because guys are such elite handling the ball. But in college, you'll definitely see these hard hedges. And this guy, I mean, their center, you can definitely tell he was not as athletic as the Texas bigs. But the Abilene Christian center played with far more intensity on the defensive end. He played with a lot of passion. You can just tell by plays like this, because this is not an easy play.
Movement by the Longhorns. Jones and no look.
I'm gonna get to it right here. Now, this is what we talk about. This is called a hard hedge. All right. This is one of the toughest things for bigs to do, because it takes a lot of effort to get out there and hedge a guard, send them back the other way. And if they don't go back the other way, you're supposed to do exactly what the goal of the hedge is, to send them back. If that guard doesn't go back, you continue to hedge, and then you have to go recover. And it's hard. It's hard. It's not very easy. You have to have a commitment to your team and team concept defensively. So watch how he hard hedges. He hedges the ball. Now he's coming with the hedge. And this guard needs to turn around and retreat. Now, once the guard turns around, the big man who's hedging is going to immediately sprint back and drop, because otherwise the center is going to burn him. But watch how this guard underestimates his competition, and he's trying to dribble at a hard hedge. One of the worst things you can do in basketball. He's pushing you up the court. The direction that the guard is going right now, that's the worst direction to go in basketball when you're on the offensive end. He's going up the court. The hedge is working perfectly now, because now you pushed him up the court. Nothing positive can happen until that guard reverses course, and you got to make that big drop out of that hedge. All right, but the big stays. The big does his job. This only works when you're communicating on defense. The hard hedge, he's still trying to force the ball over the hedge. He's still trying to drive at the hedge. All right, and because Abilene Christian's loaded up ball side, they got guys in this passing lane, and they got 3 guys now running in transition off the steal. Not a big man. Simmons missed the layup, but team follows up.
Is there. It's Morris.
Look at the pressure, man.
Go offensively. Ball just has to move.
Look at the shot.
A deep triple shot. It was contested too. Makai Morris didn't care.
The confidence, as the game is growing now, their confidence is growing.
For to shoot.
And they make shots like this. Now they have the lead again.
His basketball prayer was answered.
Now they believe they can win this game. Now they believe that they're your equal.
The second half.
And they make shots like that. Abilene Christian, great drive. And this is undersized guards. We're talking about guards that are 5'6", 5'10", 5'9". They're just out there playing much harder.
Pleasant going right at him.
Pleasant, man. This guy is an athlete.
Dribbling on that possession by Mason.
Good take by.
Taking it all the way.
And I like Coleman's game, man. I like his game. Very smooth.
Elevated from the D2 level to the D1 level just a few years ago. Coleman, the runner, falls.
Coleman starting to take over this ball game.
It's hard-nosed drive. Just get it up on the rim.
All the way off the glass.
And
A three-point
And he actually sprained his ankle at halftime. I was surprised to see number 20 back out there for Abilene Christian. He had a really bad ankle sprain at halftime. He came back out and he played as if he wasn't affected whatsoever.
Off and running Jones. To
Great
Coleman.
jumper.
Three. And the lead. The advantage. And a kiss to boot.
And so even though Texas took the lead there, they've already given this team too much confidence. Great take.
Good move.
All right. And number 20 was definitely their best player, Mason. But man, oh man, just overall, great take by the little man. And the little man, y'all gotta understand, man. This is a great take because he's been driving all night. Remember, this guard is 5'6", 5'6", against a Longhorn team that's extremely big. Look, he's been driving all night. They've been blocking his shot all night. Persistence. He stayed with it. One of them is gonna go. And when he drove this time, he made sure he hit the big man in the chest before he put his shot up on the backboard. Drive, hit him in the chest, get it up over him, got to and one. Crucial bucket at this point in the game.
If you're Texas, leadership at that guard spot, you got to take over right now.
Up 3, minute and a half to go.
Here for Texas. What's he do with it? The 15-footer. High arcing shot. And that one pops out.
Score quick, take
Dribbles off his foot.
Off his foot.
And these are the things right here. When it rains, it pours. Now this didn't really necessarily cost them the game. It's still a minute and 10 seconds on the clock. They're only down 4. I mean, that's really an eternity in NCAA basketball. But the thing is, when it rains, it pours. All right, you took this team for granted. Now you're really having to press at the end of the game. And these are the types of turnovers that happen, man. Tough turnover for Texas Longhorns right there.
Matt Coleman-like fashion, 22 turnovers. It's a new season high for Texas tonight. It's 75 for the season.
And I want you guys to look at this call right here.
So Dan,
I thought this was a bad call by the ref. The ref called it travel. I thought he clearly got the ball down on the ground before he moved his feet. I thought this was a horrible call by the ref. And I know there was a lot of Texas fans complaining about the refs, especially with the way the game ended. But I thought this was in Abilene Christian's favor. This wasn't in their favor. I thought this was a horrible call. I'm going to relook at this. So we see him with the ball. All right. Texas are playing good pressure. I thought that was a great move. I didn't think he traveled.
back to Texas.
No matter what the percentage, good or bad, you got to knock these down under pressure.
Texas back at the free throw line now.
Of this game.
Especially Sam's on the side. Strength and ability to get up.
Clutch at the free throw line. Now 6 to shoot. Miller gets
Tough
it
right
up,
there.
and he gave
Tough.
it up. Texas basketball.
There's just a lot of small guards.
Leader Matt Coleman.
Can we get some execution out of Texas? Perfectly executed. Hits the 3, takes the lead.
For the lead. Andrew Jones matching
Let's watch it, Lisa.
Unfortunately for Texas, y'all,
They slipped the pick and roll.
they've already done the damage has already been done. They've given this team too much confidence. The damage has already been done. When you're playing these lower seeded teams, you have to thrash them. This is one of the reasons why, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this is one of the reasons why I don't believe in stat padding. Because when you're playing a lower seeded team, you have an obligation to thrash them by 20 or 30 points. Because when you allow them to stay in the game, these teams ain't gonna fold and just go away. They're not gonna fold and just go away. Y'all saw early in the second half when Texas went up 11. Then they start taking their foot off the gas because they thought this team would fold and they could just cruise to an easy victory. When you're looking at when this team has multiple guards under 6 foot on the court, right now they got two. They got 2 guards under 6 feet tall with 4 seconds on the clock in the NCAA tournament, with a chance to win the game. All right, let's watch how this unfolds, y'all. Tough drive with the block, and that's a great call because it was a blatant foul. Ice in his veins, y'all.
Boy, that looked good.
And I said, I want y'all to see this free throw. The confidence in which he hit this first free throw. I said he's making the second one. I said it because I could just tell by his body language. I said the way he shot that, I said he's making the second one. I said that's ball game.
Boy, that looked good.
That's ball game. He comes up and he duplicates the same thing. Ball game.
Christian with the lead. Texas has got to go the distance.
Down both of them.
Not like the NBA. You can't advance the ball.
The baseline.
Then he comes up with the steal.
Believe the unbelievable.
Abilene Christian, man, one of the greatest defensive performances that I've seen in March Madness history. All right, so we got Abilene Christian, man, with the 53-52 win over the number 3 seeded Texas Longhorns. Abilene Christian comes in this tournament with a 24-4 record. As a 14 seed, they were able to win their conference tournament. All right, now for the night, Abilene Christian only had 2 players in double figures. We have Pleasant. Obviously, he made those 2 clutch free throws to seal the game. At the end, he had 11, and then you had Mason, who he just relentlessly attacked the basket all night. He also had 11 points. And again, they don't win this game without Mason. Mason was the best player in the first half. To end the first half, he rolled his ankle on a drive to the basket. Really bad. And I didn't think he was going to be able to come back out and play. He came back out and played the entire second half. He played 31 minutes on the night, 5 of 12 from the field, 11 points. All right. The supporting cast stepped up. We had Gaiman come off the bench with 9 points. Reggie Miller with 7 points. He played 36 minutes. Another undersized guard who just stayed in the game and just played hard. This team went 9 deep off the bench. Another thing that's very rare in the NCAA tournament. You rarely see coaches go that deep on the bench. But they went 9. They only brought 10 guys. And they went 9 deep on that bench. Now, here's the kicker. And this is one thing I want to tell y'all. So for all you crazy advocates of teams that can just outscore you and win games, let me tell you these percentages for Abilene Christian. Abilene Christian shot 29% from the field today. They went 20 of 67 from the field. They shot 16% from the three-point line. They went 3 of 18 from the three-point line, 20 of 60. So if you look at these offensive numbers for Abilene Christian, if you just look at the offensive percentages, you would definitely say they were losing. You would automatically assume they were the losing team. 29% from the field, 16% from the three-point line. See, and you guys, you start tripping on me when I get on the Brooklyn Nets and all this offensive firepower that they have. When it matters most, playoff setting, basketball, all of that offense is out the door. That's not what's going to win you championships. And this game right here proved it. When we see an Abilene Christian team shoot 29% from the field, 16% from the three-point line, and still pull off the upset win, that tells you right there the importance of defense. I told you guys from start to finish, there were so many points in this game where I said it felt like Abilene Christian. I mean, the way they covered the ball, the way they applied pressure on ball side, the way they took away what Texas does best, it felt like Abilene Christian had 7 guys on the court. All right, the way they were able to constantly get hands in passing lanes, take away the skip pass, all right, commitment to communicate, because the way they were scrambling to the ball off those double teams, if you're not communicating, you're not going to be able to recover the way they were able to recover. All right, let's look at Texas's numbers. Now, if you look at Texas's numbers, Texas numbers, they weren't the greatest, but they weren't bad either. Texas shot 45% from the field. All right, they shot 45% from the field, and they shot 35% from the three-point line. Both of those are average numbers. Abilene Christian shot less than 30% from the field and 16% from the three-point line. So how did Texas not win the game? Texas has the much better players. Texas had the far superior coaching. All right. Texas had the far superior offensive firepower. Texas had the star power. How did Texas lose this game? All right, and you cannot blame refs. You cannot blame refs for this. Texas had the superior team. We saw that from the jump. The way Texas executed early, it looked like they could cruise to a victory. All right. Percentage-wise, offensively, it looked like Texas, if you don't look at the score, it looks like Texas easily won this game. Shooting 7-20 from the three-point line, 18-40 from the field on the night. How did they lose this game, yo? How did they lose this game? And even when you talk about free throws, Texas shot 9 of 11 from the free throw line. Now, Abilene Christian also went 10 of 12. They didn't miss many free throws. I mean, that's the offensive category where they did show up. They actually showed up there. What was the difference in this game? What was the difference in this game? I want y'all to tell me, what was the difference in this game? I'm going to tell you guys the difference right here. The difference in this game was ACU's defense allowed them to put up 67 shots. ACU's defense gave them more opportunities to score than Texas had to score. Texas only shot the ball 40 times on the night. ACU shot the ball 67 times. They went 20 of 67 from the field. So although they weren't highly efficient from the field, their defense gave them more opportunities to score the ball. I mean, if you watch this Abilene Christian, there were certain possessions where guys were wide open, airballing threes. There was another possession where a guy shot a three, it hit the side of the backboard. This team is not a great shooting team, especially when they got elite size on the court of a Texas team defending them. When you look at the offensive stats will tell you that Texas won this game. How did Texas lose this game? When they played much better offense, when they had the far superior offensive players. As I told you guys before, and again, if you guys haven't watched this game, I highly suggest that you find a way to rewatch it, because it was definitely a defensive clinic. I mean, I was texting people during the game saying, this is probably some of the greatest defense that I've ever seen. Because the one thing as a coach, and you really don't understand it until you start coaching, the hardest thing that it is that you can get your team to do is to buy in defensively, and not just buy in defensively individually. It's to buy in defensively, getting your guys to communicate within the team scope. ACU had a commitment to doubling down on ball side. That only works if all other 3 guys behind you are communicating. They get burned. They get burned by Sims on Texas. They'll completely get burned by him if they're not communicating. You know what? But ACU shows you that defense matters. Defense in a championship setting is the most important thing that you can have. And Texas, unfortunately, left theirs at home today. Because even though ACU shot the ball poorly today, it wasn't because of Texas defense. They missed a lot of wide open shots. And I don't know if it was nerves. I don't know if it was jitters. I don't know if it was the stage. But the one thing that I know is that the stage did not affect how they played defensively. So salute. Man, we got to give a big salute to Abilene Christian pulling off one of the biggest upsets that we've seen in NCAA tournament history. Unfortunately, Shaka Smart and that Texas team have to go home with more questions than answers. I mean, when you got that many 5-star recruits, When you got that many high-level JUCO transfers, I mean, you don't expect to get bounced out in the first round, especially by another team in Texas that just turned D1 a few years ago. So I'm curious to see what happens with that Texas program as they move forward in the future. But Abilene Christian moves forward on to the second round, and I cannot wait to see some of these tournament games in the second round. I cannot wait to see some of these tournament matchups. And just some of the matchups that I want to emphasize, and I want you guys to watch for too, is Iowa and Oregon. Oregon's has a lot of length. They have a lot of size on the perimeter. They're going to be able to defend Garza in the post. That's going to be a great game. We got Michigan, LSU. LSU's been playing great basketball of late. They got the leading scorer in the country. And Michigan, are they going to be able to hold the fort down until they get their best player back, if he can come back during the NCAA tournament? Are they going to be able to get past a streaky, really flaming hot LSU team? And this LSU team's been playing some great basketball. I mean, we saw the way that they dominated their first round matchup. I really think this Florida State Colorado matchup is going to be good. Also, I mean, the way Abilene Christian played, we gotta be mindful of the UCLA Abilene Christian matchup. Because now that Abilene Christian has had a dose of the NCAA tournament and they know what it takes to win a game, now they're playing a not as talented UCLA team. Now this UCLA team is very, very well coached. All right. They're very, very well coached, and they also have an interior force of their own that can score from the inside and out. All right, so it's Abilene Christian. Are they going to be able to pull off another upset to get to the Sweet 16? I mean, they got a tall task in front of them, but they've already beaten Texas, so I have to give them, at least a shooting chance, a puncher's chance at beating UCLA. Baylor, Wisconsin is going to be a very good game. It's going to be competitive. I think Baylor's going to pull that out. Syracuse, West Virginia, two big-time rivals. I mean, I don't care what the seeds are. I think when you're dealing with a matchup between two rivals like that, you got to throw seeds out the window. That's always going to be a tough game. So I think those are going to be some of the key matchups going into some of these games. We just got to see how it works. I mean, these games are going to be starting soon. These games are going to be starting today. I'm curious to see how these matches play out. Cannot wait to see how the Sweet 16 unfolds. But y'all saw it right here. Abilene Christian, man. And there was I'm not even going to lie. There were a few. When I did my March Madness bracket selections, there were a few people in the chat saying, you need to watch Abilene Christian. And I didn't take them seriously. Now my eyes are wide open. All right. But if you guys who were watching Abilene Christian, were you guys already mindful of their defense? Because I didn't hear anybody talking about their defense. I told you, it's been years since I've seen a defense play this effectively. I mean, this was a defensive clinic. They won this game with their defense only. It was not their offense at all. They shot extremely poorly from the field. Against any other team on any other night, they lose that game by 20 when you shoot that poorly from the field. And to play a Texas team that was ranked all season, more 5-star recruits. I mean, this Abilene Christian team don't even have a 2-star recruit. And they were able to pull out the victory in this one, man. Hey, man, so salute to everybody for watching today, man. Cannot wait to see some of these second-round matchups. Let us know, man. We're going to be going live this evening. Have your brackets ready, man, because I want to see some of y'all brackets, man. We got our own bracket challenge going. I'm going to tell you guys the standings of our own bracket challenge. In our bracket challenge, we the leaderboard. We got a decent amount of people who put brackets in. We got Jayed. Jayed is the leader with 240 points. FYF Fred right here. FYF Fred is in second. He's in second. He's tied at 240. He's tied at 240 with Jayed. And then, obviously FYF Sports Debates, me, I'm in third place. So we got a few other people, Mike Butter, Jaden Michael, a few other people in there. We got Coach Matt Gordon in there. We got Zach Ramirez. So we got a lot of people. We got Damian. Appreciate you guys. Your brackets are all struggling, man. Hopefully you guys can. Hopefully the rest of your bracket pans out. You know, Damian Preacher, you know, for you to win this, you're going to have to hope that Illinois can pull it out and win out. Or Big Chest, you selected Michigan. Big Chest, you told me. You said that you had a secret sauce, but you're down there close to the bottom with your bracket. Your bracket's not looking so great. So hopefully your brackets can bounce back. Ronnie Bowe, man, crazy selection with Alabama winning it all. But if Alabama can win it off, you'll probably win this tournament pool. So, hey, salute to everybody who joined our March Madness Bracket Challenge, man. Cannot wait to see this second round of games. Man, this tournament's been something else, man. Today's matchups are gonna be unbelievable. I can feel it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. We're gonna tune into that game. I'll see you guys in tonight's live stream. All right, babe. It's FYF Sports. It's been another great episode, and we out.